get the live chat. There we go. Sinfuls is on board. Let's see who else we got on here. 2 people so far. We're looking this week here. We're looking for a place to set up, to go to for the group meetings here, and we looked around at some places. When I called Vikings again, they said to call back later because it was a group. We would have a group of 50, and I looked into Gringos too. Gringos said that they could handle us, and actually they have a good holiday meal, like a holiday special meal there too. So it's something that we might think about. How you doing, Michael? Let's see who else we got coming on here. But it's been a busy week this week. Let's see, we're 7 on board so far. So there we go. Mike's Philippine retirement. Welcome aboard. Sinful says we can do Vikings after the holidays. That's good. We can do that. They just get booked too much. They're very reasonable in their prices. They're about 1,000 pesos for the smorgasbord that they have there. It's pretty good. They have pizza, everything. Let's see. 2 traveling expats. Good evening, everyone. Running Man 21. Good evening. Sinfuls. Hey, Mike. MM. Good evening. Winston Herring Jr. Hi. Randy Schmitz. Hello from Camp Casey, Korea. Camp Casey, Korea. There we go. Nice to catch you live. Welcome aboard, Randy. I just got off the phone actually with 2 people that are coming here tonight. Not tonight, but they're coming here in the future, I should say. But both of them were talking to me on the phone, saying they'll be here probably within a few months. Sinful says, yes, that is what I was saying about the holiday. You have to book well in advance. Yes. And the funny thing is that the Vikings place, and that's right on Mall of Asia for you guys that are listening. It's a really good restaurant. Sinfuls recommended it, and it's a great place to go because it has all you can eat. But it's open from 10 to like 2:30, then they close down till like 4 or 5, I think 4 till 4, then they reopen and they'll open till 10. So if you come in for lunch, it's a very short-lived meal kind of. Let's see. 2 traveling expats as we have been trying to get into Vikings forever. Yeah, they do have walk-ins there, but you're better off making an appointment. And if you're gonna have a bunch of people, like 40 or 50 or more or something like that, or 20 or more, I think it is, actually, that you should call them well in advance. And we usually have a big group of around 40 to 50 or more. Mike's Philippine retirement says, hey, Sinfuls, VFL Landmark, and let's see, good morning from Philly, USA, Todd Tomano. Hey, hope all is well as in the PHX. Leonard Marlon. We got a whole bunch of new people on here. This is good. Yes, we had dinner at Vikings last week. 1,800 for the both of us. Over 500 items to choose from. That's pretty good. Actually, that's very good. Michael L says Vikings is always crowded. Yeah, there's a line outside. I drove by it the other day when I was going to the Conrad building, and I happened to notice the line outside. It was pretty busy. Sinful says 2 traveling expats. The nice Vikings is in SM Aura. Leonard Marlin says, yes, we made reservations a day ahead of time. Francisco Fletes is on board. How you doing, Francisco? What's going on? Let's see, we're still at 25 people, 6 thumbs up. See how many people we get on here tonight. Hopefully, there we go, we're up to 28 now. Scott Baird says, I keep hearing from relatives here in America from the Philippines that say the healthcare is poor in the Philippines for major issues. You know, Scott, it depends on the hospital you go to here. If you go to when you move here, you should move near a decent hospital. And that's one of the reasons why I say that living where I live near De La Salle University Hospital. It's a good hospital. St. Luke's is good up in Manila. If you have time, which sometimes you don't, I would say, you probably want to be near St. Luke's or something like that if you have serious conditions here, for sure. But would I say that the healthcare here is poor? I would say it's middle of the road. A lot of the lower hospitals, yes, they're not very good. I was sitting in a hospital here that was not a good hospital one time, and I watched a few people pass away right in front of me, right in the emergency room. So that'll give you a rough idea. But do I think all hospitals are like that? No. De La Salle is definitely not like that. It's a really, I would say it's on a scale of A through F, I would say it's probably like a A minus, which is pretty good. A minus, B plus. I feel safe there. Let's see. Two traveling express sinfuls, yes, right there off the pier. Jimbo, hi, good morning from Chicago area. How you doing, Jimbo? Welcome aboard. Manila Martin says hello from Makati. There we go. I'm up there almost every week in Makati. Up at the PRA at the BDO building. Alice Vlogs and Wonderlands. Hello, good morning. How you doing, Alice? Let's see. MH1838 says, how much cash should I have when I arrive and where do I hide it? You know what? I tell people to get one of those fanny packs. You know, there's some people call them tummy packs, fanny packs, whatever. Put it in front of you, or get one of the ones that they slap right in front of you, that goes over your shoulder and it sits right here on, you know, on your chest because you know where it is. It's the safest place and it's very hard to rob from you, you know, carrying it there. And when you're coming, you're basically, you're going to the airport, it's safe. Most of the taxis here are pretty safe. Just make sure that they put on the, you know, they put on the what's the word? They put on the thing, they flip on the thing to turn it on. I forget, my mind's like drawing a blank, but you know what I'm talking about. How much cash, let's see, wait, Richie Redwood says, yes, it's good value for your money, lots to choose from, and good tasting meals. That's what I hear, yes. Francisco Fletes, St. Luke's is top of the line. It is accredited by JCOI. Edward Perrenboom says, hi from Texas. How you doing, Ed? Welcome aboard. Paul Gibson says, hi from Western Australia. Your house renovations are pretty impressive. Watched that vlog the other day. Your sweetheart hanging on the wall looks pretty impressed. Let's see. Sinful says, let's hit the thumbs up, folks. Thanks. It's that time. What time is it there now? Right now it is 9:30. We start the live stream a little bit early for you guys, just to get up to a higher amount. So we usually start about 9:30. So just FYI, if you see it as 10 o'clock, usually we're on here about 9:30 to start up, and we go for about an hour and a half for the new guys that are on here. Let's see, Michael L says 21:31. Todd Tomeno says meter. Yeah, the meter. That was the word I was looking for. It's tough when you have a brain fart. Leonard Marlin says you can find a great medical doctor for care here. I have had the same doctor in Legazpi City for at least 10 years, and he actually referred me to my doctor here in Samal Island, Garden City. The thing here about doctors is I have a great doctor right down the street here for a medical doctor. She charges $6, and I can't complain about her at all because every time I've gone there, she's taken care of me really, really well, and I feel bad just paying a doctor $6. I mean, I could buy outpatient medical care through Pacific Cross if I wanted to, but I don't find it's worth it because I hardly ever use it, and if I do use it, it's costs hardly anything. So I mean, you know, I don't recommend getting outpatient. I recommend getting inpatient care. You know, Sinful says from the airport, take the yellow taxis that in the official queue as they will start the meter. Yes, most of them will. Some won't. Sometimes you get one guy that won't, but they're supposed to start the meter. Yes, and the ones that are in the queue are the best ones. Let's see. It's that time. Okay, that's what threw me off. Okay. John Bergeron says, coming from the airport, the taxi will try to rip you off. Sometimes, not all the time. Most of the times, they're pretty good, but occasionally you get some guy that doesn't want to put the meter on. You know, and it's the same way over Mall of Asia and downtown and just about every place. They always like to tell you that they want to make a deal. They charge $30 or something like that. Let's see. William Berry says, greetings from Makati. Just got first visa renewal today. Did you get your, okay, so you're on the tourist visa, okay. Sinful says, I bought a MaxiCare card for that clinic and having great service. After purchasing the card there's no cost when I go there. That's pretty good though, from what you're saying. Now, is the name of that place Sinful's MaxiCare that you go to, the MaxiCare clinics? Because I believe I saw a clinic that said MaxiCare, it must be. Let's see, Running Man says, PNC Bank last week stopped allowing VPN use for login. Can bank apps be used from PI without VPN? Yes, yes, absolutely. I don't recommend bank apps though. I recommend using a credit union because the credit union will not give you any issues. Some of the banks now are giving people issues. I'm not sure why people have had their accounts closed down because they say that they don't like having accounts outside the U.S. So open up an account with State Department, Federal Credit Union, or Credit Union because they have different rules and laws. So they work under a whole different ball game, you know. And if you go through them, it's better. I have a credit union. I don't have any issues. I don't use a VPN with them. Let me see. Simple says that's why the airport you only get a taxi from the queue. They are recorded. Okay. So if you have any problems, you can report them. Sinful says yes, Mexicare. JD William, do you need an appointment to renew SRRV or just walk in? Also, do they accept major credit cards there in the Makati office? JD, if you're trying to redo your SRRV card and you use Mary Rose or an agent, you can just call up Mary Rose and you send her the money and they get you another card almost immediately, okay? So, and then they do it for another year. You just pay for them to ship it to you wherever you're at in the Philippines. You do not have to go there. If you did it on your own, you went into the PRA and you got your card on your own, call them and ask them, and usually they can facilitate it where you don't even have to go in there and you pay them. But you do. There's some new rules now that they have. There's 2 other documents that you need when you redo your thing. It's easy though. It's cake. It's not a hard thing to do. Mary Rose told me what they were. I can't remember what they are, but there's 2 papers you need to do. You can call the PRA. They'll tell you what is needed. Okay. Sinful says I also have a MetaCard membership too. Okay. Now, how much do you think it's worth it for what you pay for a doctor here, though, Sinfuls? Let's see. Jimbo High, how about dental care there? Quality costs? You know, the other day I went to my dentist. I walked in there and my dentist was there and must have been in between customers or whatever, and said, I said I want to get a cleaning. I want to get an appointment for a cleaning because I was there for something else. And he took me in right away, and I think I paid $3,000 for a cleaning, which is $60. I paid the $60, but they also did like the varnish. They put like a special thing over my teeth, like it's almost like dental varnish or something they call it. And he says that'll protect your teeth a little bit better, so that you don't have like how like when you have cold on your thing, on your gum, on your tooth or whatever, and it bothers your tooth. Well, they put that on there, and it was $60 total. I was in there for probably about maybe a half hour, 45 minutes or whatever. Real nice dentist at De La Salle University Hospital, by the way, if you guys are looking for a good dentist. Let's see, it's that time. How far are you from VA Manila? I'm about an hour away, okay, by ride. It depends on the traffic. Unusual traffic, it's about an hour and 20 minutes. Manila Martin says, dental care is cheap. I had a root canal for $400. Yeah, it's very cheap. And it depends on which place you go. And you get what you pay for over here. If you get a cheap dentist, you're going to get cheap dental care. Okay, so that's what, and remember what I said before in one of my videos. The first dentist I went to, and I don't have many, I have 3 cavities, I think, in my whole entire life. I've had 3 cavities. And when I went to this dentist, they told me I had 8 cavities, and I got up and walked out. And when I went to this dentist, he said I had none. So I knew I was dealing with a good dentist. So you got to be really careful. Let's see. Simple says, Running Man 21, I have had no issues with my banks at all. I have 4 different accounts. Yeah, some banks don't give you any issues over here, and some do. There's a couple of smaller banks that for some reason they think people that are living outside the country should be shut down or whatever because they think you're doing some sort of money laundering or something like that over here. You have to be kind of careful with the banks, what you tell them and what. Like I use my sister's address, and it's just better off. And like I said, I have a credit union too. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures. Howdy, how you doing, guys? Jimbo, hi. Thanks, Martin. Paul Osterhout, howdy, campers. 10 days and a wake up, and back to the PIs for Christmas. That's good, Paul. Let's see. Simple says, nice, Paul. Leonard Marlin says, I took Steve's advice and bought a safe for our house here in Samal and keep a month's budget money cash on hand just in case we have an emergency and need to get out of town. That's actually good to have. Just make sure your safe is hidden somewhere. I have like a space underneath my bed and I'm thinking about putting a safe underneath there, and you can have your bed raised up. My bed was handcrafted, but I had to put up in the air so I can put luggage underneath there. And I measured it one time, and I can actually fit a safe under there too, which is kind of cool. And you'd never know it was there, which is good. Todd Tomato says, when you finish the expat checklist, can you send to my email? If you remind me in the future, I don't have like a thing right now to write it down. Just remind me, Todd. I'm not sure when we're going to get that done. We've been so busy lately, and we are going to do it. It is on our checklist. Me and Justin are probably going to do it sometime soon, hopefully, when we have time to sit down someday, and we're going to put it all in order, what you need to do. It'll be a very well-written checklist for all you guys that are back home. Let's see. It's That Time says, which hospital take care of retired veterans there, and do they take FMO, VA Foreign Medical Program? FMP, you mean? Well, there are places over here that do take FMP, that deal directly with FMP, and also with TRICARE and stuff like that too. There's specific TRICARE hospitals, and I believe there's a couple of FMP hospitals also that will bill FMP directly, but you have to bring in all your documents showing that that's what you're getting. You're getting treated for your service connections. FMP, if you paid the hospital directly, they'll reimburse you, but you have to make sure all that stuff that they want on their list of things that they need on that document are in the documents from the hospital. So make sure that all that stuff is on there. Otherwise, you won't get reimbursed. But most of the medical stuff around here is cheap. So I mean, in the VA here pretty much takes care of the main stuff. It's if you have to get an operation or something like that you would use FMP, or like for painkillers or something like that, because now they're not giving some painkillers, so they would reimburse you for those. JD says, I went through Mary Rose for my SRRV, so I'll ring her up for the renewal. Thank you, Steve. Yes, JD, she'll take care of it for you. Give her like a month's notice so she can do that all for you, okay? And she'll tell you exactly what you need. There's 2 documents you're going to need. Okay, she's over in Holland right now, but Thelma's here. You can contact her under a messenger on Mary Rose Sales, SALES, Baranda. Okay, so you can contact her on there and ask her. 2 Traveling Expats says, we've had no issues with our bank except that it can be a little slow with service, but we are learning to have more patience in the Philippines. If you're dealing with a bank here, you need patience, seriously, especially waiting in those lines for the ATMs and stuff like that. I've learned just to watch, and I did that video that time about watching the ATMs, because some people, they'll walk off from their ATM and the other person is on their phone or something like that. And while the guy's on the phone, I'm not going to wait. So I walk up to the front of the line and I jump on the ATM, and then they give me a dirty look afterwards. I said, hey, you weren't using it, you were on your phone, so I figured I'd jump in here. I told the guy, he says, you got an empty machine right there, I'm going to use that one. He goes, okay. The guards really don't care for the most part. They've never yelled at me for jumping in the front like that, but if it's empty, it's empty. Sinful says, yes, my Medicard was 1,998 PHP, and my Maxicare, which is far more coverage, was almost 13,000 pesos. That's not too bad. Tonester says, hey Steve, greetings from Makati and thanks. I picked up my SRRV this week, and Mary Rose was my agent, no fee, smooth as black ice, and an agent walked me through converting my driver's license as well. Yeah, usually that's Belle who does that. She's really, really good. Let's see. Francisco Fletes says, I got it on my own. I renewed in May. I didn't recall any new documents. I wonder what they are. I had to pay cash. Yes, they changed that just recently, Francisco. There's 2 documents you need now when you redo it, but it's nothing. Don't even worry about it. William Berry says, does Mary Rose also do the marriage visa? No, she doesn't do that. William, if you need help with something like that, I have an attorney, and she will either do it, and if she doesn't know how to do it, I'm sure she could send you to somebody that does. Okay, Sinful says, I had a root canal and a crown over 13 years ago. It cost me $100. Still doing fine. That's pretty good. If you can find a good dentist here, it pays. 2 Traveling Expats, which dentist do you use, Steve? I actually use a husband and wife team over at De La Salle. I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me, and I should know it. Um, they're the only two dentists in there, and they work out of the same office. And you just go up there and ask for the dentist's office, and they'll direct you at De La Salle. Okay, but they're the only dentist in there. You go see him, and they'll take care of you. Really nice guy. So I'm gonna try to do a video on him soon. I'll get his name and everything, and I'll give him a big plug on here because he's a great dentist too, and he's a little bit more than other people, but I know that I'm safe with him. You know what I mean? I know that he's not gonna be drilling holes in teeth that don't have cavities. That's the great part about it, and just about everybody that has used him have said that they're happy with them. You know, Thomas John, can SRRV be gotten from start to finish from within the Philippines, or do things have to be gotten from within the U.S.? Well, you have to get your apostles, Thomas, from the U.S. Can you get them while you're over here? Yes, you can. If you need help with that, you can email me at steven5975@yahoo.com, and I can assist you with. I'll give you my phone number. We can talk, and I'll get you started. Just ask me for Mary Rose's information too. Okay. Let's see. Element 564. Aha. So that's where the safe is. Aha. It's not underneath my bed. Let's see. Paul Osterhout. It's actually mounted to the wall, so nobody's walking off with that. Paul Osterhout says, I use the dentist located in the Dasmus SM Mall. Excellent service always. Yeah, there are other dentists out there that are good. I just like the fact that it's a teaching hospital. So you're getting a decent dentist that teaches kids. So he has to be somewhat decent. Just the fact that he teaches. So that's the good part. Sinful says, Asian Doctors Hospital in Alabang does TRICARE. I think there's like, what, 3 to 5 or maybe even more. I know there's a list of them on the TRICARE site that somebody sent me of different doctors and hospitals. I'm not sure how many there are. Francisco Fletes says, because I don't use TRICARE. Francisco Fletes says, I did it 100% from inside the Philippines. Didn't have anything apostilled, and I didn't have police clearance. Yeah, they do Interpol too, if you're from in the country, but usually you need things apostilled. They did Interpol check instead of police clearances and affidavits instead of apostle. Okay. Usually she wants the apostles, but if you can do an affidavit, they with me, I didn't do the apostle either, Francisco. I did what's called a red ribbon, but they discontinued that. They won't let you do that anymore. But maybe they started it back up again, which is almost the same as like an affidavit or whatever. But I know you can do it from here. It's just a little harder and more of a pain in the butt, Francisco Fletes says, I converted tourist visa to SRRV, but that was during pandemic lockdown, so maybe they yeah, that's probably why, because I know they really pushed for those apostles now. So yeah, that COVID was a whole different ball game. They were letting a lot of things slide through that they wouldn't before. Todd Tomano says, okay, I will. Have you had problems with Navy Federal Credit Union, or is it pretty easy? No, Navy Federal Credit Union is good over here. There's a lot of people that have Navy Federal Credit Union. If you have a credit union, you're pretty much in the clear over here. Okay, because they have different banking rules than the banks back home. Sinful says, I go to ATMs in the early morning, almost never waiting or issues. Sinful, it's funny. I used to walk by this ATM, and it's near my house. It's not too far. It's up on the main road going to Indang. And I used to see this ATM there, and it was a beat up old ATM. And there's like a kind of a strange bank there, and it looks like it's closed all the time because the lights are very dim, or the windows hide the light inside, so I always thought it was closed. So I saw the ATM there, and I never paid much attention to it. And then I walked up, and I saw somebody using it, and it looks like a well-worn ATM. And I walked up, and it actually worked. And all these years, I thought it was like an ATM that was broken down and didn't work, but it actually works, which is kind of funny. Tonester says, once I received my SRRV and immediately went to BPI Bank and opened an account, I used my Globe postpaid receipt as proof of residence. That's cool. Let's see. Todd Tomano, by the way, I love your tin signs. Thanks, man. I got all those right there. Leonard Martin says, I wish I would have listened to Steve about buying a car, jumped in and bought one the month after I got here. Use it maybe twice a month. Now our scooters, a different story. Take it to the market daily. Yeah, you don't need a car here. A lot of people do have cars. I know Sinfuls has a car, and he uses it a lot though. I mean, I get around using either PAX or local cab. And I don't leave here too much, and when I do, it's usually picking up somebody at the airport or meeting somebody at the PRA to help them out or whatever. Let's see. Sinful says, Leonard Marlin, I couldn't be without my truck. Yeah, actually he has two trucks, one for his wife too. John Ross, pesos went down to 55.72 from 59 plus pesos. It's gonna go down a lot more, I think. I think we're in a declining time right now. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot of money coming in for Christmas, which is driving it down. So that's part of it. Randy Smith says retiring there in next August. Won't be buying a car. No need to move orange cones for parking. Okay. John Bergeron says everyone tells me you can get a 6-month visa, but I've asked several times and they tell me 2 months at a time, and I've been here over 5 years. You know, this is what I've heard from some different people. They say if you're married to a Filipina, supposedly they'll give it to you. If you're not married to a Filipina, they won't. And that's just what somebody has told me, and I'm not sure if that's true or not. But anyway, yeah, a lot of guys are telling me the same story, that it's 2 months at a time and that's the max. But I did hear from one guy. He says if you're married, they give it to you for 6 months. But I don't do tourist visa stuff too much, so I really don't know much. We do mostly the SRRVs, but I go off what people tell me as far as the tourist visas, and I heard the same thing from other people. Let's see. Sinful says, John Bergeron, my last visa was a 6-month. See, they will do it, but he's married to a Filipina too, so maybe that's the difference. Lazy Larry Lee watching ads. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Lazy Larry. Let's see. Leonard Marlin, the only time I use the car is when we need to load up on frozen foods with major shopping twice a month. Yeah, that's when I use the rental car usually. I don't even use it that much. I used to go over to SNR and Landers and all that stuff, and lately I haven't been going over there that much. See, John Russ says, John Bergeron, I just comment about that. You got to be 60 years old or above to get the 6 months visa. I'm 59, they told me that. That's interesting. So that kind of puts a different swing on things. I haven't heard that one yet. Francisco Fletes says, jobs report and low unemployment means inflation likely will go up more in U.S., so Fed will keep raising rates. Expected U.S. dollar to get stronger after inflation data comes out. Okay, that's good news. Good news for us anyway. Let's see. Sleven Marcus readings. John A.M. on a 6-month visa also depends on the office. I'm hearing what he's saying. It depends on the office and the person that you get at the window. I've heard that too, and it's kind of sporadic because some offices do the 6 months. I've seen people that didn't have a wife, and they got the 6 months, and then other people are saying you got to be married, and it's the tourist 6-month thing is getting really messed up lately. It seems like. Let's see here. We got 60 people, 32 thumbs up. John Bergeron says, okay, thanks, I'm 59. I think there's a lot of different rules, and I don't think the people there know the rules, to be honest with you. I think some of the people just don't pay attention. They work there, they just pull a paycheck, and they're quiet quitting. Just a feeling I get, when you're working for a little pay, you do little work. Let's see, timepiece videos. Can I retire there at 35 years old with a $50K in a Philippine bank? I thought I read this a year ago or so. It's not, in the retirement visas, they don't do that anymore, timepiece. It's 50 or older now. I don't think they'll ever go back to that because China wrecked that. Because the Chinese were abusing it. William Berry, that's true, Steve, about being married and visa. Okay. Mike's Philippine retirement, I got 6-month visa twice in Dumaguete, 7,240 pesos last time, total cost, and I am single. Sleven says, I am 53, no married, 6 months visa, no issues ever. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody's got a different thing here. And you know, I've actually watched videos on this too, to see if I could get a straight answer. And you never get a straight answer on this off anybody. It's one person says one thing, one person says another. I think it just depends. Like I said, it depends on the office. Maximus says, "Hello, Steve in the Philippines. There is no rhyme or reason as to why some get a 6-month visa or not." I agree. It's that time. Will the SRRV expanded courtesy accept SSDI in place of pension for qualification? That has to go through Mary Rose. She does all the because some people have weird things. I'm not sure about SSDI. Okay. I believe it has to be a pension, so it has to be regular SS. I don't think they will take SSDI, but you can always check with Mary Rose about that, because I'm not 100% sure. I don't get too many SSDI people. It's mostly just straight Social Security, or somebody's getting pensions or municipal pension. As long as you got a pension of 1,000 or more, you're all set. Leonard Marlin says, "I'm 64, have never gotten more than 2 months at a time for my visa." See, Sinful says, "I got my visa at the Dasma Robinson's Mall office." So there you go, guys. Just go there if you're around here. That's not too far from me. Francisco Fleta says, "Not true. I got 6-month visa when I was 39, converted to SRRV during that time." That's interesting. You see what I'm saying? There's really no rule that they follow. Michael L. says, "Philippines Central Bank seems to be successful in defending the peso. Is now back down to 55.6. I talked to a guy at the VA, and it was about 4 or 5 people that said the same thing to me. And these guys at the VA were staying more than 36 months. How they were doing it, I don't know. But when I talked to the guy, he says, "No, that's not true." I says, "You can't stay past 36 months as a tourist." And he says, "Well, we are down where we are." And I don't know how they're doing it, but somebody down there is doing something illegal somewhere, because I heard that at the VA from several people. So there's another glitch in the system right there. Chasing My Asian Queen. Good evening, everyone. Late to the show. How you doing, Chasing? Maximus, depends how greedy that certain office is for your fees and the padding they include on top of it. I've heard some people give them like a tip or something like that, but I would not recommend that, because then you get people that start expecting that off everybody, and if they don't get it, they're not going to give you the 6 months. So be careful doing anything like that, because I hear a lot of people, they do underhanded stuff, and it just messes it up for everybody else. Let's see, Larry says, "Hello, Sinfuls." Leonard Marlin says, "We're getting married in February. I'll see if things change after we're married." Let us know, Leonard, on Livestream. Alan Garrettson, with the 6-month tourist visa, maybe it's got some officer discretion involved. Probably, probably. Simple says, "Hi, Larry. BJ, hello, good evening." Let's see. How you doing, BJ? Sinful says, 66 watches and only 37 thumbs up. Smash it, folks. Thanks. Roy Reynolds says, "Evening, Steve." How you doing, Roy? Joe Davis says, I must admit, I missed the Myrtle Beach fruit already. Moving to Duma from Cebu this Friday. Thanks again for your help with my SRRV. No problem, Joe. Anytime. Be Kind says, "How you doing?" How you doing, Be Kind? Maximus says, "They give you a shorter visa extension to keep you coming back sooner so they can get their coffee fee on top of the regular set fee for the visa. Corruption at its best." Oh, I didn't want to say that. I'm trying to be nice here, but I think that does have a part in it sometimes, unfortunately. Francisco Fleta says, "They accepted my VA 100% PNT as my pension." Yes, they will do that. That's for sure. Because it is a pension, as long as it's PNT. BT says, "Love the parking video." It's all true. It is, yeah. I mean, that works. If you give these guys tips, they'll take care of you, and they know where you can park and stuff like that. It just pays off. I have a couple of great videos coming up over the next few days. I've really been trying to strain my brain to try to get out some really good stuff. And the next couple of days, I got some great videos coming out, and I think you guys will enjoy them. Sinful says, I never tipped, just showed my papers, and they gave me 6 months. Don't know what to tell you all." Let's see, Francisco Fletes. I think it's just the offices and the people themselves. It's kind of confusing about that. Francisco Fletes says if you have disabilities that could put you high risk for COVID complications while traveling, BI can extend the 36 months at their discretion. Um, I'm not sure how that would work, but one guy said he was here for 10 years on a tourist visa, Francisco, which I thought was very strange. And when I was questioning him about it, there was three other guys there that said the same. Um, and I'm like kind of curious how that's happening because it's unusual that three other guys would be sitting around there, but they're all from the same area. I think they all took a van to the VA or something like that together because they seem to all know each other, you know. So they must all go to the BI together or something too. It's That Time says, what is a criminal record for the SRRV? Caught a felony for speeding 25 years ago. Speeding and things like that, most of the stuff they'll let go. How technical are they? I think if it's like a drugs or assault, things like that, bank robbery, all that stuff, anything serious, it's best to run that by Mary Rose because Mary Rose can give you a better answer than I can. But anything serious, like a petty theft or something, I don't think they're going to do anything about. That was 25 years ago. I think it's the time and how long it is, but if it was something serious or a felony or something, then it's a whole different ball game. But run it by Mary Rose. If you need her information, you can email me at steven5975@yahoo.com. BT and Betty's had a really hard time parking in UB yesterday. Subic. See, Sinful says, I try to go to places where I know I can park, but there is times not possible, especially right now around Christmas time, you know. Let's see, It's That Time says, Francisco Fletes, that answers my question. VA, PNT counts. Great. I think it does, yes. You know, I think even without that counts too. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure it does because they never asked me whether it was PNT or not. Sinful's grease fees in their local office. I believe that to be true in some places, unfortunately. Let's see, BT got some good videos in Subic though, to the old upper Maw camp, and the barracks are ate up by the Quonset huts are still good and is still there too. Maximus says, were they all Navy SEALs? No. 10 years on tourist visa. Must definitely be SEALs or Special Forces. LOL. You would think, right? That's what I mean. I mean, when they told me that they were here for 10 years, that was during COVID that I was talking to them, by the way, when we're sitting waiting for our shots at the VA, and when the guy told me that, I was blown away, you know, because I never thought anybody could go over that 36 months without being in trouble, and they said they were all legal, and he was willing to show me his visa stamps too, and I said I don't want to see him. You know, I could care less. Leonard Marlin says, very true, Sinvils. Never any parking downtown at the market, so I take the scooter 90% of the time, much easier. Sinful says, in my area, parking is generally never an issue. You live out in an area that's kind of nice as far as parking because it's kind of spread out over there. Sleven says, just for information purpose, any updates on allowing a senior card for expats was submitted for review sometime back. Thanks. You know, Stephen, we belong to a group called Scanners here. Me and Justin do, and we're trying to get other group members to become members of that too. And I'm gonna try to run that by one of the people to see if we can do something about that, because I think that would be huge for us here. But what's funny is that a lot of the places accept the PRA card if you show them and say, do you guys take a retirement card for discounts? If they say yes, it's on them, okay? So just FYI. But some places here will do discounts even if you just have like an ID. And that's okay. If you ask them, do you guys give senior citizen discounts? And you just show your card, show that you're 60 or older. Some places will accept it, and that's on them. Okay, so just FYI. A lot of people say, well, no, that's illegal. No, it's not. If they accept your PRA card, that's on them. Okay, because some places do give a 10% discount or more sometimes. Some places don't. Let's see. It's that time. Says, got it. Thanks, Steve. Francisco Fletes says, I'm not telling you to lie, but if you run a criminal record check and it's clean, don't mention it. A lot of stuff, if you have Interpol run it, it won't show up on Interpol sometimes when you're over here. You can have the SRRV, the PRA run an Interpol check, and some things don't show up on there unless it's really serious. Scott Baird says, BT, do you recommend living in the Subic area? Subic's a nice area, but it's a little bit more expensive. But yeah, it's a nice area. If you got the money and stuff, I would say it's a great area to live in. I don't have a problem with that area. I've been up around there. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures, there's some good places to live. And it just says TH Wood. I can't read the rest of it. It's cutting it off for some reason. John Bergeron, doesn't the government have any oversight here that looks over the branches? It seems like a lot of corruption in the local offices. Unfortunately, no. Scanners is a group that tries to find out if there's corruption, and you can report it. If you become a scanner, you can do stuff like that, and Americans can join. And if you see some sort of corruption, or you get asked for a bribe or something like that, you can report it, and they'll take care of it. And don't deal with it there. Just get the name of the person and all the information and report it, and then see where it goes. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures, it's a free port now, a lot of condos and houses there. But I don't recommend too many people get involved with corruption around here. It's just not a good thing to get involved with if you really can stay away from it. If it's something that's really big and it's hitting you all the time, then I would report it. JC Watts says, hi from Nashville, Tennessee, plan to come in June. Plane fares are $2,000. Any cheaper that you know? There are. The one guy just told me today, $1,300. Okay. Roy Reynolds says, we've been watching airfare best so far from Chicago to Cebu, $13.75 on China Air. China Air is the cheapest, but they suck. I took China Air here and they suck. The food sucks. The stewardesses suck. The airports in China suck. It's just not comfortable. I found their planes kind of dirty, not very comfortable, and just, I don't know, I just didn't like their services. Leonard Marlin says, I got a plane tickets back in March, paid $1,100 to include a follow on to Hong Kong. Roy Reynolds, we are flying over in June also. See, BT and Betty's, your stuff cuts off. All your stuff cuts off. It says, in Subic, it's fairly safe. They have enforcement of law there, but it can, probably be tough if you don't follow the rules. A lot of tickets being given out. I've heard that about up there, that they have a lot of problems with tickets and stuff. So, but yeah, BT and Betty's, your stuff cuts off at the end. Almost all your stuff for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Yours is the only one that does that. John Ross, I've seen many Philippine senior citizens get 20% discount on a lot of things, including restaurants. Hopefully when I turn 60, I will try it. John, you can also get a BFF card if you use some restaurants around here, and you can get a 20% discount every time you go in there, plus 250 pesos off, and on Mondays you get 30% off. You have to pay for that BFF card, but it's well worth it if you use those restaurants on the list. Izzy and Chris, John Ross, you can, but you need an SRRV. Randy Smith says, sounds like the U.S. military might be moving back to Subic. Not sure I would want to be there if they do. I saw the thing on that through that vlog. I don't really like that vlog because that guy's been saying that for a while. I think he put out some stuff on that before. If it's the same vlog I watched, he's been saying that now for 4 years, and I don't think that that's true. I know the ships are going in there. Ships can pull in there now, But as far as a U.S. military base, no, they would probably share the base at Subic with the Philippine Navy. So that's what they're probably talking about. But as far as it being an American base again, very highly unlikely that will ever happen. There'll be shared bases for sure, almost forever. I don't think you're ever going to get another American base in here. Even though Bong is doing pretty good on that, I don't think that's going to happen. Francisco Fletes says, I use my VA disability card. I also use my DV plates and use handicap parking spots. Always ask the guard if it's okay, and they say yes. Even use PWD lane at airport and pharmacies. Let's see. BJ says having flexible travel dates are key to getting a low rate. Yes. That and buying far in advance. That helps too. Yes. Roy Reynolds. Thanks, Steve. I didn't want to say that China Air sucked on your channel, but you are so right. You're probably more comfortable sitting in a latrine in the latrine the whole flight. Probably. I just didn't like China Air at all. I didn't like them. Just to be honest with you, I found it very unsettling to fly on them. I would never use them again. Leonard Marlin says, I will say each time I've gone to renew my visa, I pay a different cost. Renewed 4 times, anywhere from 3,100 to just under 7,800 when I got my ID card. Francisco Fleta says, handicap placards, not DV plates, sorry. Let's see. BT says, Scott, it's all about what you want. I like it there in San Felipe. It's affordable. The beaches are nicer. Just out further, you have to travel back to Subic or for a lot of services. Your stuff gets chopped up, so it's kind of like at the end of each sentence you lose a couple words. It's kind of hard to make it out. William Berry, what are your top 3 resorts in Luzon? Family vacation later this month when the kids get out of school. Top 3 resorts. I don't know. I wouldn't even venture to take a guess at that because there's so many resorts around here. In Luzon's so big, I mean, I wouldn't even venture to guess on it. There's some beautiful resorts out there that I haven't been to, so I mean, I'm not sure. Let's see. BT and Betty says, don't know, never heard that till here. Yeah, it's like your end of your thing is just chopped off. This one was all there, but it's kind of strange because it chops it off. Maximus, their comment is too long for the limited 200 characters, and that is why it is cut off, Steve. Okay. Francisco Fleta says, I'll take sharing. Alan Garrettson, Steve, you can tell us again who Mary Rose is and what she does. Mary Rose, she is a marketer at the PRA. She does retirement visas for people. And if you need any information on her, if you want to do a retirement visa, give me a yell at steven5975@yahoo.com. Ask me for Mary Rose's information, and once you get all the information from her, contact me, and I'll help you get the SRRV. I'll help you get all the paperwork together, and help you tell you what you need to do. Okay. John Bergeron says that's another thing here in Quezon City. No stamps in your passport for the past 3 years. Francisco Fletcher says we'll get on post access. LOL. I hope so. Be nice to be able to go on base and shop and stuff like that. Let's see. Larry says, Steven, the chat will not allow over 200 strokes. Okay. I'm not sure if they have over 200 strokes now. Well, here we are again. They're all cut up. They cannot move back without, and it says Shah, because that's how the new constitution written, no foreign bases lest they, and then it cuts it off with a C at the end. So I'm not. Maybe they do have more than 200 characters. Sinfuls puts a thing there for Kaido. Let's see, Kyoto News. Okay, I'll have to read that after. It's that time, says Francisco Flates. We are the post there. Where are the posts there? There are no posts here right now. Sinful says that is a story about Subic and the U.S. military. Okay, Sinfuls, can you send that link to me later on in Messenger, or through not Messenger, on text or whatever, if you can, because I want to check that out later. Todd Tomano says, any thoughts on doing a space A to Japan or Thailand and taking a flight from there to Manila? I'm not sure what you're trying to talk about here. I think you're talking about if there's like an empty seat or something like that. I don't understand what you're talking about, Todd. It says doing a space A. I've never heard of this. Dickie Spaz says, hey Steve, how's it hanging? All good here? Not many Black Friday fights on YouTube this year, LOL. Francisco Fletes says, I had a flight on China Air in Taipei, start to take off and abort and slam on the brakes and turn around and taxi to another takeoff. Worst experience ever. I can imagine that they're terrible airlines, I think. John Ross, there was a South Korean shipbuilding company in Subic Bay and went bankrupt, and a U.S. company own it now. No, I think it's an Australian company. I don't think it's a U.S. So if U.S. warships coming here, it would be there. I believe it's Australian. It might be Australian and U.S. That was the last thing I read about them a long time ago. Sinful says, Todd Tomato, I would be very surprised if they did Space A. I'm not sure what that is, guys. I'm sorry about that. It's that time. China Air sounds like Gangsta Air. Yes. It's that time says China Air pilots are doing on the job training. Hand in there. Okay. Let's see. BT, you're all caught up again. There are always ships and they just, I don't know, it says DOR. There a lot in a fleet comes here. B state, I don't know what it's saying, BT. I'm not sure why you have a problem like that. Sinfuls, it has to be setting on your PC because I can see all their message. That's kind of weird because I can see it now. It says China C, BT Philippine C, BT always American presence. Sleevan says, John, correct. They officially stopped the stamps in passport. They just require you to keep the receipt in the passport for the records. No more stamps with renewal. That's actually better because it takes up a lot of space in your passport, and that would suck if you need an extra book. Whenever you order a passport, always order the one with the extra pages. Just tell me you want the bigger passport. You pay a little bit more for it, but it's way better. And if you have a need, you have all the extra space in there for sure, especially for world travelers. Charlie says, is there a criminal background check when applying for 13A visa? I believe there is, but I'm not sure. I'm not up on the 13As. Like I said, I just do the retirement visas. But I'm pretty sure there is. Somebody told me that there is, but I don't know. Sinfuls, email to you. Okay, thanks, Sinfuls. I appreciate that. James Nichols, I'm coming out in January for 3 months. Are there any medical needs such as shots before I come out? No, you don't need any shots to come out here. Not even COVID shots anymore. Let's see. BT and Betty says, yes, Charlie, MBI. Leonard Marlin, that's true. I have yet to have some stamp my passport for visa renewal. Just keep my current receipt. Glenda Vargas is on board. Glenda's one of our members here. Good evening, Steve. Just got home from Medical MI Bulacan, sponsored by Scanner Inc. She is one of our people in Scanners. She's that's an organization here that does medical missions and food things missions, and they also do things. They keep their eye out for issues with corruption and stuff like that too, and Americans can become members of that. BT and Betty's, they stamped my passport when I got, and then it just cuts it off there. Randy Smith says Space A is military flights that active and retired military can take on standby if room exists. Okay, I got you now. Let's see. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures, but not for tourist visa. Okay. John Ross says Steve and Marcus readings. Yes, in Cebu there's no sticker for over 3 years now, so just receipts now. So you must keep all receipts since day one until you leave, or they will fine you for some money. That sucks. Paul Ostow says, well, campers, Space A is an old-timers phrase for MAC. Okay, I gotcha. Military Airlift Command. Where if the military flight was space empty seat, you can fly for cheap cost. Okay, I gotcha. I always heard them as MAC flights. William Berry says, BT, did you use a service for the 13A? Francisco Fleta says, Air Asia is cheaper and more comfortable than Space A. Space A is new term for MAC flights. Okay. Yeah, because when I was in the service, they called them MAC flights. I think I'm Steve's time. They were called MAC flights. Yeah, when I was in there, you could take a MAC flight almost anywhere in the world if you were in the service or anywhere in the country. BT and Betty says, everyone else see it? It's that time says, what is a 13A visa? That's the one for marriages. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures. I'm just short statement. Yeah, okay. Tourist visa in Angeles, no stamp. I walked mine through myself. No service from me. Yeah, that's better off doing it that way. When you do it that way, we can read everything. BT and Betty's. Okay. Let's see. I'm at the end of everybody here, so we're gonna need some more people talking here. As far as Subic goes, though, I've heard all the rumors. I think eventually they will do something up there, and I know that I think they opened up to what, five more bases to the U.S. or something like that. It'll probably be Subic too. You know, when they get the Philippine base all set up there. Leonard Marlin, John Ross didn't know that I kept all my receipts from day one, but when renewing, they only asked me for my last receipt. Sinful says, it's that time spousal visa. Yeah, the Balik buy-in, or let's see, Leonard Marlin. But when leaving in 3 years, I will have them all just in case. BT and Betty says, yeah, spouse visa. Okay, spouse visa. I don't deal with that stuff, so I'm not that up on that. BT and, let's see, Betty's, they stamp for that. Okay. Yeah, as far as the base up there, though, I know that shipyard, they're getting that all in order and everything too. But they've been open since 2015 to let U.S. ships go in there anyway. So U.S. ships already go inside of that area up in Subic already. They pull in there for protocols and probably for small repairs too. BT and Betty says, but not for tourist. Sinfuls 13A, not Balik buy-ins. Okay. I get those two confused, the 13A and the Balik buy-in for some reason, because I just don't deal with that stuff. Sinfuls, there is a base in Palawan. Yes, it's a small base. That's the one with the small strip that goes right off into the water, I think. Is that the one you're talking about? I've seen pictures of one down there. There is, let's see, Amphib Ave, airline space available, flight benefits, way better than a MAC flight any day. Can't get to way more places, including Manila. Okay. William Berry says, okay, thanks. Got marriage counseling December 7th, marriage service December 9th. Okay. John Ross, Leonard Marlin, I advise you to keep all visa stamp receipts because when you apply for exit visa, they will ask you for them all. Wow. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventure says, I notice. Joe Davis says, how does Filipino wife collect DIC in Philippines without a USA Social Security number after I pass? I'm not sure of that one. I wouldn't even know how to answer. I'm not up on Social Security stuff. Sinfuls, ballot buy-in is a 1 year when you enter the country with your spouse and get stamped. Okay. Paul Osterhout says, my company has offices in Subic and I'll be transferring there in September 2023. Boss contracts from the U.S. government are going to be out for bids forecasted for August 2023. Okay, interesting. Let's see, boss contracts. Okay, so they are doing some stuff. I know they said that they're spending millions and millions of dollars. I did read that. The U.S. is spending millions of dollars. I forget how many millions, but it was a lot. So that's interesting that they're building buildings and infrastructure here. So they are going to be storing more stuff here and probably be putting airplanes and stuff here too. BT and Betty says they were working on QB Point a lot yesterday. Let's see. Francisco Fletes, you have to be a retiree or 100% DVA to have access to Space A. Okay, interesting. BT and Betty's, I seen a U.S. warship in the bay. Interesting. So go figure. Let's see. Dan B says, I'm a golf fanatic. Is Eagle Ridge Golf Club, and it's right down the street from me. Their address is listed as Barangay Javalera, General Trias, Cavite. Yes, Eagle Ridge is a beautiful place. I've been in there many times. I've seen the golf courses there when I was showing somebody around. We had this other guy, Rich and Debbie. They're moving here probably beginning of this coming year. And they plan on moving to that area. It's a really beautiful golf course and area there. But there's not You know, there's a lot around there, but there's not a lot around there. I'll just say that. You know, and the stuff that is around there that's not really that nice. It's a huge area where that's located, but there's not much on there. You know, James Franklin says Subic presence will be good for veterans. Yes, I agree. It'd be nice to see some military guys walking around here again. Kind of make some of us veterans feel at home. You know, seeing that if we go up north, I don't think we'll be seeing them in Cavite. BJ, could you call out some of the corrupt government offices there on social media, or would that just get you negative attention? It would get me negative attention, you know. I don't really have that much of a problem with the government offices here. I got to be honest with you. But yeah, you would not do that on social media. Stupid. That'd be a real stupid move. Dan B, would love to see a video interview with someone that does golf in that area. Maybe we'll do one when Rich gets here. Maybe I'll go on a golf trip with them and just walk around the golf course with them and video them playing or something like that. I think that'd be kind of a cool video, you know, and find out the costs and the prices and stuff like that, and just have fun for the day. I'm up for that. I can talk to Rich when he gets here. Paul Osterhout says boss equals base operations and support sustainment. Okay. Leonard Marlin, Joe Davis, my understanding she can't unless you have her live with you in the States for 5 years and married for 10 years. Dexter does anything. When I got an extension in Duma, they gave me a receipt and had to keep it for the flight back. Okay. It's that time, says Francisco Fletes. What is 100% DVA? BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures. Nice golf club at Subic I've seen too. Yeah, Subic has nice golf up there too, I've heard. BT and Betty's. I'm not a golfer though, guys. I think the yacht club owns it now. Randy Schmidt says, I was reported in April that Cerberus Capital Management, U.S. company, bought the shipyard for $300 million. Yeah, I heard that it was an Australian company and a U.S. company, but you know that's what I read. Maybe it fell apart and then the U.S. company got it. Let's see, but it was an Australian company originally. I do know that. Francisco Fletes says 100% disabled veteran beneficiary. Let's see. Sinful says Joe Davis, here is info HTS Greenback Tax Services. Okay. Francisco Fletes says DVAB. Sorry. Okay. Sinfuls, hey Dan B, I'm a golfer too. BT and Betty's, that's a big shipyard too. Yeah, it is. I looked at it on I think it was Google Maps. They had a picture of it that they showed in one of the stories. Paul Osterhout, oh, the memories of the Subic gold course. Leastwise waking up at 3 a.m. And one too many Singapore slings. Ha ha ha. Circulation 1974. Joe Davis, thanks y'all. Amphib Ab, I took Mac flight from Diego Garcia to Singapore in 1987. I was just reading about Diego Garcia the other day. They don't even let reporters go out there. You know, it's kind of an interesting place. And I knew this a little bit about this, but I didn't know how big that was as a submarine base too. They use that as a submarine base. And a lot of top secret stuff goes on out there, I guess, because they don't let too many civilians out there or anything. It's mostly all military people. Let's see, BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures. Cool, Paul. BT and Betty says, I was blacklisted from it, 1988. Sinful says, I have a nice golf club near me, Can Lubang Golf Club. BT and Betty's golf cart in the drink. Drink in my hand. There we go. Drunk driving on the golf course, huh? Dan B, thanks. Would love to see that golf video. Been trying to understand the golf costs and membership fees. Yeah, maybe when this other guy Rich comes here, I'm sure that Sinfuls and Rich would probably be playing golf when he gets here, because we have some other people I think that might be coming here for golf too. I actually had a woman call me today actually, and she's originally from Singapore, but she's an American citizen, and she says she wants to come this way, which I found kind of interesting. So we do have more women coming here. Some of them are married to Americans, and they're not Filipinos either. But this lady here is originally from Singapore, and she's an American citizen now, and she wants to retire here. Dan B says, Sinfuls, are you in the same area? Yes. No, he's above me. He's above me. He's actually kind of far away, but he's not too far away that he couldn't avail himself to the golf courses around here. He's a bit of a trip. Randy Schmidt says, Sinfuls, how expensive is a round of 18 there? See, Paul Osterhout, golf, fat fingers, my bad. Sinful says, Dan B, by the golf PH card gives you great discounts. Yeah, there is a golf card here that gives you good discounts. Rich was looking into that too. The other Rich and Debbie that are coming here. BT and Betty's was here for Penatubo. That was what, 1992? BT and Betty's, what a wreck. Sinfuls, yes, kind of near Steve. He's like about an hour away or so. I have played Eagle Ridge many times, he says. BT and Betty's Adventures, we moved out soon after. Sinful says, Randy Schmidt's my course, near me cost me about $55 with cart fees and caddy costs, but that is because I get signed in by a member. Otherwise, it would cost about $80. Paul Osterhout says, I did 1 year with the squirrels, and yes, the fat gray ladies do port there. Got a tour inside one time, very impressive, but I purred the bush myself. I'm not sure I understand what that. Dan B says, Sinfuls, if I send an email to Steve, can I get my multiple questions forwarded to you? Yeah, we can do that. Let's see. BT and Betty says, did a lot of dozer work. Ash, Larry says, Amphib Ab, you have my sympathy. Amphib Ab, good morning, Steve. Was awakened by a phone call to work overtime tomorrow, so I caught your show. Diego Garcia, I was there for 6 months on a military contract for the maritime preposition ships. When I was younger and when I was 17 years old, I know that they were just starting stuff up there back in like I think it was like in the early 80s, and I was thinking about actually going there, and then I just decided not to go there. It was just too far away, and people were telling me, no, you don't ever want to go there, and I was like, okay. But I think that they got up and running wasn't until like the mid 80s, but they were starting to have a military presence on there earlier. They've been there for a while, but they started building everything fresh there, like I think it was like 85. I could be wrong. I think from what I was reading on there. But they had a military presence out there, and the Navy was sending people out there. But I wanted to go there. I thought it'd be kind of cool to go there, but I never ended up there. See, BT and Betty's 1991. Sinful says, yes, you have the golf PH card, Steve. I have okay. Joe Davis says, I was talking about the VA benefit after I die here in PH, not Social Security. Being 100% PNT for 30 years. That's something you'd have to probably talk with the VA about. The VA's got so many different rules and rule changes lately. Because I was talking to one of the people up there, and they said there's a lot of changes in a lot of the stuff lately because of the Biden administration. So I'm not sure what's going on. I don't even like to answer any stuff that have to do with the VA because I'm not really that knowledgeable. I used to do the claims because the claims are easy to do, easier than people think. That I can help people with, and I have in the past. If you're here, I can assist you with putting in a claim. Randy Smith says, thanks, Sinfuls. Not cheap, but cheaper than Korea, LOL. Francisco Fleta, Steve is not far, just a lot of winding roads, but not the boonies, LOL. It's kind of, it's kind of like behind me. If you shot behind me, I mean, we have a whole bunch of like jungle behind me. Then it ends up being Eagle Ridge. There's a few roads behind me, and then it leads to Eagle Ridge. Eagle Ridge is not that far from me. It's a few miles, but I mean, it's not really that far the way the eagle flies. BT and Betty's, you got to take care home. Dan B says, thanks, Sinfuls. We'll send email to Steve. Steve, hope it's okay with you. Yeah, I can send it to him. I'll send it to him. Just write that on there. BT and Betty's and legal marry in the States. Sinful says, Randy Smith, best to buy golf membership at course you want to play. Eagle Ridge is nice as they have 4 courses. Yeah, every time we drive through there, Me and Pax drive through there because there's a hotel there. It's not one of the nicest hotels, but it's an okay hotel on the other end of Eagle Ridge. I look at the golf courses and there's always people out there playing, and they are beautiful courses. In fact, the homes in there, if you go back into my videos, we did a home in Eagle Ridge, a rental in there, and you have to go way back to find that. But yeah, we did a home in Eagle Ridge, a rental in there, so you might want to check that out. BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures, then you can work on benefits. Leonard Marlin says, Sinful's great info, just checked it out. My girlfriend isn't even interested in moving. Oh, hold on, in moving to the States. When I die, I want her to be able to get my SS now. Now she can at 62. Okay. Mike says, Diego Garcia isolated, but it's safe in the Air Force. Has the best chow hall, and you can save some money. I'm sure you could living out there. I heard that they had a nice beach out there too. That's why some of the guys like it out there, but there's not much to do out there except go to the beach. Sinful says, Joe Davis, okay, contact the VA and make sure she is signed up as a beneficiary. Okay. Jimbo, hi. This is why I love your channel so much. Your great videos, real world info from you and your subs on Livestream. Thanks, man. We get a lot. I think we get a lot done on the live streams here because of the help that you guys give too. The same goes for Sinful. Sinful gives a lot of information on here too. It's good having the both of us on here because we can both. What I can't answer, he's like the second half of my brain, and what's left over is usually one of you guys will answer it. So it's kind of nice. Larry says, Steven, I talked to sailors back in the 70s who all told me that it was not a fun place to be stationed. Yeah, that's what people told me in the early 80s too, but I just thought it'd be kind of cool being out on an island. I don't know, for some reason when I was a kid, I was infatuated with living on an island. You know, even to this day, I am kind of, look where I'm living now. So, and before here, I used to have a jewelry store out on Key Cocker down in Belize, which is a beautiful island. If you ever want to see a beautiful place, go check out Key Cocker down off Belize City in Belize, and it's a beautiful place. See, it's that time. Joe Davis, speak to a VA lawyer that only deals with the VA to set you up. There's a lot of good attorneys actually on YouTube that you can call up that helps you with this stuff, and some of them are pretty reasonable too. That's all they do. Sinful says, Steven975 at yahoo.com. Let's see, James Franklin, Joe Davis, your wife gets about $1,340 a month. Lifetime health care, and the VA not set up for spouses and next of kin. Sinful says, the hotel at Eagle Ridge is Microtel, but an old one. It sucks. Yes, it does. Everybody that has stayed there said that they didn't really like it. It wasn't that great. I wasn't too enthused with it either. B&T and Betty's, one advice, be careful where you swim, I think it is. It says SWI. I can't read the rest, guys. Paul Osterhout, sorry should have clarified, not sailor like you, Steve. Hats off to the folks who serve on the subs. Bush equals dirt and jungles. Okay. BT and Betty's, I got sick in a resort pool. Yeah, some of these resort pools, man, they're not the cleanest, because I was looking at a pool the other day and it had green slick on the side. I was kind of like, wow, this is not a clean pool. It was actually over at Aquamera, which is usually pretty good. Let's see, BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures, check out the pools before you swim. Amphib Av says, too many drunks in Diego Garcia, lots of booze and boredom, but it's beautiful. It's nice for no greater than 1 month. It's Tom Clancy type stuff, but not at our level. LOL. Okay. Francisco Fletes says, MRSA is an endemic to the Philippines, very easy to get colonized. Once you're colonized, so hard to clear skin infections. Larry says, Steven, one of the guys told me that there is a woman behind every tree. The problem was there was no trees. Okay. AZ says, hi, just got my neck fan with the cooling pad. The pad gets really cool and the fans work, but it gets really hot around the cooling fan. Are you having that issue? There's different ones. I like mine. The one with the two cooling things in the front is actually better, they say. I'm probably gonna get one of those AZ, but I like mine. It does get hot in the back if you touch it back here, but as far as cooling, most of the time I just use the cooling part and I don't use the breeze thing unless I'm walking around and it's really sticky or humid, because it just wears out the batteries faster. But I enjoy mine. I like it. I wear it around quite a lot. It's actually charging up for tomorrow. Paul Osterhout says Gonzo Station, aka Diego Garcia, has a Seamen's Club which served the best steaks anywhere. Fishing is outstanding with charter boats 7 days a week. Now that would catch my attention. I could go out fishing 7 days a week, and I'm sure they probably give you a deal there on the fishing. Francisco Fletes says, people told me Camp Casey would suck, but I loved it. Went there for 1 year tour, ended up staying in Korea for 3 years. Mike Akulian says, Combat Craig has a great veterans information. Yes, he does, and there's many others too. BT and Betty's never had this problem. BT and Betty's not seeing my posts. It even cuts off, like your name, BT and Betty's Philippine Adventures, it cuts off the S, like half the S, just to let you know what's going on. And it's only yours. Sinful Steve, about 6 weeks ago, I began using the Lifebuoy Silver Soap. I put a stop to my skin rashes, etc. It put a stop to my skin rashes, etc. It is good soap. You know, I love that stuff. The silver actually has a healing effect. A lot of people don't know that. And the Jews were the ones who got that started in their military medical kits, from what I understand. BT and Betty's, you're not seeing anymore. It's still the same thing. Let's see. Lazy Larry Lee, Paul Osterhout. Sub sailors were called bubbleheads, and fleet sailors were called targets. BT and Betty's, Elsa's post, gonna back out. I can read you, but if you do short like you're doing, BT and Betty's, have a good one. Okay, we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Let's see. Sinful says, BT and Betty's Philippines Adventures. I see your post fine, the whole thing. I don't know what the issue. It might. I'm not sure. It could be that I'm using an iPad. Lazy Larry Lee by BT and Betty. BT and Betty's. Yeah, gonna go see y'all. Gonna go see y'all. John Bergeron says, I like the way Elon Musk is exposing the corruption in the 2020 election. The truth is coming out about the Biden family. I like what he's doing too, to be honest with you. I want to comment on that for a second, because I was reading some stuff about it. He's exposing a lot of stuff, and it's because Biden said that he's going to investigate him. So Elon Musk is just going to throw everything out there on the table now. If you're going to investigate him, he's got nothing to lose. He's going to get investigated anyway. So why not throw all that stuff out and get him the Biden family investigated? And that's all I can say. You know, Dexter does anything. I got an ear infection from a pool there. Luckily, the doctor cost only 1,000 pesos and fixed me right up. Paul Osterhout says, Lazy Larry. LMSAO. So I heard about being targets. Randy Schmitz, Francisco Fletes been at Casey 8 years. A lot of fun with the exception of the cold winters. Amphib Ab, if you like islands, Santa Blas Islands, Panama, Coronado, Toboga, Las Perlas, anywhere in Micronesia or the Pacific. You know, a lot of the islands down by Belize are really beautiful islands. Even Nicaragua, there's the I think they call them the Maize Islands or the Corn Islands or something like that, right off of Nicaragua, and those used to be military bases down there at one time, or military structures down there. A lot of the people on those islands speak English even to this day. Cedric, can you not do that, please? Paul Ostoud, happy trails, BT. Dan B. Let's see. Sinfuls, LOL, investigate him for telling the truth. Typical. Micah Coolian, back up investigating Obama, Biden, Clinton, Russia collusion. So exposure of the Biden crime family is the same difference. No accountability. Life's going to go on. Yes, it will. Amphib Ab, there was a shark attack inside the lagoon a decade ago. Killed a contractor from California. Bull sharks got him. That's crazy. Francisco Fletes says, Randy Schmitz, I'd go to, I can't even pronounce that one, Francisco. All time to eat. Would take the train to Seoul and go to Dragon Hill Lodge for steak and crab legs weekends. was awesome. LOL. Micah Coolian says nothing's ever going to happen. Each side investigates each other, and all the media reports it. Just entertainment and distraction. It's true. Paul Ostow, not to mention the hammerhead sharks in the lagoon as well. Amphib Av says, I was on Isletas in Lake Ma. Let's see. We got 64 people, 59 thumbs up. Thanks, guys. Scott Bear says, do you think you are finally living life? And can you name top 3 reasons you love the Philippines? Why do I love the Philippines? You know, it's cheap. I love living here because of the island life. I like the people here. I like the Philippine people, to be honest with you, sometimes better than some of the expats. I got to be honest with you about that. I love the expats too that I have in my group. But you know, we have had some drama queens and stuff like that. But the 3 things I like most, I would say, the people, the place itself, and the prices to live, the cost associated with living here. You know. See, Dan B says, just looked over a website for Canlabang Golf Club. I'm salivating right now since I live in Ottawa, Canada. Golf course is closed until April, May. Micah Cooley and I live in Florida Keys, and Paradise ain't so nice anymore. Sinful says, Dan B, I golf there 1 or 2 times a week. Dan B, thanks, Sinfuls, rub it in. Amphib Ave on Lake Nicaragua, they have nice islands called Isletas, developed from spillage of lava from Mombacho volcano. Let's see. Sinful says, I like my 2-hour massages twice a week. Actually, Sinful's just got back from one. And Dan B says, LOL. Paul Osterhout, need to check out. Thanks, Sinfuls, for doing the mod work. Steve, keep up the great info sharing. I think we're going to call it a night anyway, guys. We're at the end of the string here, and we're up at the 81 minutes. We usually end up ending in about an hour and a half, so we're about 10 minutes early. But I want to thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we'll try to get on here next week. If we're not on here next week, then we'll do it the week after. So if you ever come on and I'm not here, just come on a week later. We'll be on, and we always come on about 9:30, okay, for a Manila time. So if you guys are, you know, on a Saturday night, you're not doing anything. 9:30. Well, for you guys, it's a different time zone, obviously, if you're in the States or whatever. But we're on here at 9:30 Manila time every Saturday, and you know, just join us then. But thanks, guys. I really enjoyed tonight, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. God bless, guys. Take care. And I want to thank Sinfuls also for tonight. Thanks, guys.